Reserve time.
And we're back. Game number 2 of our second best of 3 of the evening. Just about to get underway. Na'Vi flat out running roughshod over Mousesports in game number 1. Going to be looking to have a repeat performance. Mouse, though, going to be looking to bounce back and hopefully force a game 3. This is that new look Mouse squad just trying to get some experience under their belt. They do have a stand-in playing with them today, unfortunately, so handicapped in more than one way. Na'Vi, same 5, same talent, same unbelievably high-flying, high-powered offense, and they're going to look to continue that with the Timbersaw pick. Mousesports, though, they like the way the push, well, more accurately, didn't like the way push felt when they were up against it in game 1. This time going to look to turn it against Na'Vi with an Enigma and Nature's Prophet first and second pick. To help break down the draft and, of course, lend the insight and analysis, welcome back, as always, Ben Merlini-Wu. And, Ben, I mean, what else can you say about game 1? Na'Vi got ahead and just kind of ran away with it. A sub-19-minute win and a game which featured 47 kills, only 10 of which belonged to Mousesports.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous early game presence by Na'Vi, especially Puppy on the Enigma. I think he had a really big impact moving around the map, getting that early kill on the Death Prophet, letting them take down the towers, and they didn't really need a farm because they got all that tower gold. Looks like Mousesports will take away that very key important Enigma away from Puppy. Yeah,
and picking up the Enigma, that's a hero that, talking to a few pro players and a few friends and such, just with the way that 6.79 has really just thrown the laning phase into chaos. Heroes like Enigma, I expect, are going to be seeing a lot more play. His efficiency, jungling up, his ability to roam much earlier than I think people give him credit for. A lot of times you don't see Enigmas get all that active until level 5, level 6, until they get a couple of points in a Malefice or preferably a Black Hole. You don't see a lot of Enigmas roam because of how efficient they are in the jungle and just how much they get out of spending the first 3 to 4 minutes of a game doing nothing but focusing on gaining gold and gaining levels. But we saw, and in game 1, he is very effective at that nonetheless, especially when he's put in conjunction with a high-powered hero like a Pugna, for example. So going to have 2 heroes of that now from Mousesports with the Prophet and the Enigma. They usually want to claim the jungle as their own. Prophet obviously can function quite well in a solo off-lane. We've seen that time and time again. Very 6.78 kind of a feeling in that regard. But Na'Vi leading off with the Timbersaw and the Visage, very mid-game centric heroes that can do a lot in the mid-game, and I don't think we're going to see them look to take their foot off the gas. They may end up picking a harder carry. I mean, they actually didn't have a true carry in game 1, when that might not be the case this time, but I still expect them to look to make a lot happen between 10 and 20 minutes.
Yep, and Mousesports, they have the push potential, though. Looks like a lot of the push has been banned out, though. Pugna, Death Prophet, but still no Elder Titan. I think that he did quite a lot. Funnick gave up First Blood, but still contributed quite a lot to his team with 20 assists. He didn't have the best score, but he still did a lot of damage, and that's what wins games. So Mousesports, are they going to pick it up for themselves? I think we will see it picked up. We will see it picked up by Na'Vi if Mouse doesn't pick it up.
Well, Elder Titan's one of those heroes that, much like Undying, back in Undying's heyday, you don't always get an accurate picture just by eyeballing it of what an effect he's having. Natural order, there's no big graphical effect that tells you how much extra damage is being done because of that passive. Same thing with Undying's ultimate. You don't always get an idea of just how much he's contributing just by watching a fight play out. It's oftentimes the result. It reminds me a lot of like linemen in American football. A very common saying is the only stat that offensive linemen care about is the win column. And Elder Titan's very much in that same boat. I mean, you will occasionally see them get ahead, tally a good number of kills, get a nice KDR going. But for the most part, it just doesn't matter. So long as he's there to do what damage he can, lend the push and anti-push, and, of course, to just hang around and make sure that along with his Astral Spirit, that natural order is being utilized to its fullest potential, he's just going to have a huge effect on the game, even if it isn't always easy to perceive. Mousesports going to go ahead and grab up a Sand King. Sand King's one of those heroes that kind of goes in and out of vogue. Sometimes you'll see teams, especially players like Fear, who really prefer the hero. They love the mid-game damage potential. He gives you great stun. He's a hero who works stupidly well with the Keeper of the Light, for an example. Not saying that's necessarily what we're going to see here. But just so long as he gets up an early item or 2, set of Arc Boots, Blink Dagger, he can have a huge effect on the mid-game. And with Na'Vi leading off the Visage and the Timbersaw, that's certainly going to be a nice boon to them, especially wanting to use his Epicenter damage to hopefully negate Timbersaw's advantage with reactive armor.
Yeah, Keeper Light, No, without the push though, probably unlikely to see him.
Yeah.
Mousesports kind of liking in that late game department too. Both teams just drafting their core heroes, and let's see. I mean, just it's probably just gonna be all out bloodbath again, the early game, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah,
It's fun.
a lot of offensive potential on both sides. The problem that I mean, still two heroes to be drafted by Mousesports, so hard to tell exactly what complexion this composition will take by the time all is said and done. But the issue that immediately jumps to mind is a Nature's Prophet and Enigma. Enigma's going to give you what he gives you. He does need help from other heroes, though. The reason we saw Puppey feel so dominant in Game 1 was because of how mid-game centric the rest of Navi's lineup happened to be, having a Clockwork flying across the map, having Pugna's damage output. Now they're going to add the Invoker. That's all well and good. But they are very much all in on magic damage right now. Their physical damage is completely non-existent outside of Enigma's Eidolons, which are, in big fights, unreliable at best. Nature's Prophet, of course, will build towards that or can build towards that. Invoker, the same thing, especially if it's an Exord build Invoker. But for the most part, Navi is going to have a much nicer balance if they add a physical DPS right now. And we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the Lifestealer's already been banned out, so not like there's any hero that hard counters Mousesports lineup available. Maybe an Alchemist as a carry or something like that, a hero who's going to rush a quick BKB. But Navi certainly has their options open to them. They're going to go ahead and grab the Chen, actually. So that Chen pick's a little surprising to me. What do you think, Merlini?
I think that Mousesports expects Navi to do something very similar to last game, which is, okay, we're just going to fight you all the time. And Nature's Prophet very good at reacting to early games, so you can have that outnumber advantage. And the reason why they picked so much magic damage is because they didn't even get to the point where they could get their BKBs last game.
Right.
And I think that if Navi does the same thing too, then they're not going to be able to form up BKBs either, unless they get off to a really good start. But if they have the magic damage, if they have the early game, then their magic damage will just be really, really strong, and maybe they can get to the point where they can actually prevent Na'Vi from getting BKBs. Not that Timbersol is a very great candidate for it, neither is Mirana. Both of those usually just go for more survivability items like Bloodstone or Manta Style, something like that, Lincoln's instead of a BKB, because they aren't just like man mode in your face heroes. But the option is still open for Na'Vi with their very last hero. I think like a Alk pickup, Gyrocopter pickup, any early game fighter would do well. They don't have to have a late game carry though, just like we saw last game. Elder Titan's still in the pool.
Yep.
Pick it up.
I'll tell you another hero that might fit in well to this, depending on how they're intending to lane it, is, and this is kind of taking a key from watching DK the other night. I'd like a Tiny pickup here. Add a little bit of AoE, add a little bit of utility, add another way to just roam around. Just think how potent a combination of Visage and Tiny alone under cover of Moonlight Shadow could be, especially once you factor in a Chen and a couple of stuns coming off a couple of Centaurs as they roam around. Again, just thinking creatively, thinking of heroes that might fit into this. Obviously, some AoE-centric heroes like a Gyrocopter certainly would fit in well. I like an Alchemist pick here quite a bit, I think. Just because he gives you that late game safety belt. He's not quite as potent in the late game post 6.79 because he no longer gets that flat HP bonus. It looks like Mouse is actually going to go ahead and stack the gyro for themselves.
Yeah, and that gives them late game insurance, but it also doubles as an early game fighter. So Mousesports just know that they have to get past the early game. They can't like be behind by 20 kills 15 minutes into the game. They absolutely cannot let that happen. And it's not like they didn't want to fight last game too. They were just like constantly roaming around with Crystal Maiden, constantly moving around with Crit on the Kunga, trying to find kills, trying to bring the fight to Na'Vi, but Na'Vi simply just outplayed them very, very hard. And I think the big hero to watch here is Chen. It's just very similar to Enigma. He's like the tempo controller for the game. He makes Mousesports react to him. He takes out towers. He tower dies people. So Chen is really the important hero on Na'Vi. And I mean, Enigma and Chen, they kind of serve the same role for Na'Vi, and Puppey just plays them really, really well. They have to be able to shut him down to a very good extent.
Dindy going to be playing the Queen of Pain, who comes out in the last pick position, and that kind of jives with what I was saying. Just thinking creatively about heroes that can match up. We saw a really well-played Tiny come out of Mushi out of the mid position in a lineup very similar to what Na'Vi is showing us now. And they're going to get the exact same thing, plus a little bit more mobility out of the Queen of Pain, which I think is going to fit in very well with the aggressive potential we know they already had, and more than likely the aggressive posturing they're going to be doing. Having the nice burst AoE in terms of magic damage. As you mentioned, BKBs, when you look at this, I mean, obviously Gyro is a hero who's going to want to build a fairly quick BKB. Maybe not first item, but certainly second item. Prophet can get one, but after, I mean, even Prophet, not that great of a candidate for them. So magic damage going to be the name of the game on both sides. But Na'Vi does have the advantage of having a Chin, Hand of God, certainly going to allow them to reset some of these fights once he gets level 6. The question for me is going to be which team wants to take control of the early pace. And when I say early, I mean ultra early. How much are these teams going to, in relation to each other, going to invest in roaming early? And we've seen it time and time again since 6.79 dropped. Roaming early can be a blessing or a curse. If you roam and you're able to get a lot of kills, or even just a fair amount, you don't have to dominate the game and get a 10-0 lead or something like that. Enough that your supports are making up for the fact that they're not in lane, they're not jungling, so on and so forth. But it is always a risk. We've seen Earthshakers in particular, even though that hero obviously not a part of the game right now. We've seen heroes like that just fall so hopelessly behind that they become a non-factor if they're unable to tally at least a couple of early kills to keep them on pace.
The early laning phase looks like it's going to be Synderen versus Dendi, most likely. That matchup, I think, should go in favor of Queen of Pain. Not that big of a favorite, though. Tiny, I think, would work well. The problem is his laning phase is rather weak. He really needs like a super weak solo mid, or else he's just going to get harassed out. Crit looks like he is going to be the roamer. No boots on him this time, though.
A little bit of damage being traded in the river. Looks like Avos will chase them up away from the rune spot. Horn blows. We'll wait to see where the rune spawns and run through our lineup. Synderen back on the Invoker mid is certainly a throwback for me. I remember back when I first started casting Dota that Synderen's Invoker mid was considered one of the best in the West, and the hero obviously going through a number of changes. Havost actually picks up a haste room. He's going to go ahead and chase Crit on into the dire side jungle, and Crit's actually going to take a fair amount of damage here. Havost stutter stepping. The damage needs to be careful. Obviously not going to dive too deep. Eidolon's going to turn and pay back the favor a bit. And looks like that'll be about all she wrote. So the lanes take shape. Let's see who's handling who. Puppy, no surprise at all to see him playing on the chin. He's actually creep blocking there in the off lane. Havos is going to make his way up as well. They'll be joined by Kuroki, who'll be playing on our Visage. In mid, it'll be Queen of Pain, played by Dendi, with the Timbersaw, handled by Funnick, farming the solo safe lane in the face of Link, who's on our Nature's Prophet. Continuing down the lineup of Mouse, Crit, playing on the Sand King with his big flat beaver tail. We'll have Enigma, handled on by Rise on the side of Mousesports this time. Very successful outing for Enigma by Puppy in Game 1. Synderen, again, on the Invoker. Very fun to see him back on this hero. Going to be testing his wits against the crafty, always tough to handle Dendi. And, of course, Angel standing in for Mouse today. He'll be farming for the second game in a row, this time on the Gyrocopter.
This top lane is really bad for Mouse. A Sand King who can't really do anything versus Chen, and a Gyrocopter who needs a lot of farm and levels. They're just not going to get that much. And Enigma's going to get some farm too, but so is Chen. They have to do something about this. Looks like they're going to rotate. Is Angel actually going to go to a different lane?
Synderen hanging out in mid. Looks like Angel is going to be crossing over mid, and yeah, he's going to be spending a lot of time, and it's, you don't want to overblow it, but you don't want to underblow it either. I mean, this much time spent just rotating lanes actually sets him fairly far behind, and given how much Mouse is going to need the damage and the levels that are going to come out of this Gyrocopter playing in the farm position or in the carry position, this actually hurts them significantly. And we can see Kuro and Puppy
finding Rise.
Yep, feeling very confident. There's a net that's going to catch Rise. Eidolons are there, but they're about to expire. There's a Grave Chill to slow him down. Crit spotted out on the low ground. Looks like they will be able to split up and make it away, but there's a Sacred Arrow. Ooh, Crit almost got caught by that. Now he's going to be Grave Chilled again. He's down to half health. Here comes Puppy along from the high ground. He's going to Burrow Strike to the safety of Synderen. Takes a Soul Assumption in the face. There's another net. Couple of right clicks. Should make this first blood, and Dindy's the one to net it. So Synderen did what he could, threw out a cold snap, but in the end, Crit just really not having the utility to get away, and first blood goes to Na'Vi.
Navi's they're just really good in general at capitalizing on where the opponents are weak. Sand King is just super weak at level 1, similar to how Death Prophet is really weak at level 2 and prior to 6. They're just doing a very good job of taking a fight to Mouse, like forcing them into bad situations, because that Sun level 1 range is just atrocious. 350 range, and there's no way he's going to be able to hit that when he's like constantly Grave Chill instead of Dendi.
Link comes in. They should clean him up. Actually, he might get Puppy. Very, very close. He does. Thought Link wasn't going to have the right click, but he did. And without a Soul Assumption, he's going to make it away. Kuro just not having the mana, so a very nice TPN. Looked like he came into a bad situation.
Kuro just walking up to Cinderin and dying to this cold snap. Like, what in the world? I mean, he had to have seen that coming.
Dindy back up and ready to fight. That was kind of bizarre. I thought it looked like Link was making a mistake, but Kuro just not having the mana that hanging around too long, so making Mouse's advantage, surprisingly, 3-2.
Yep. And Havos just Crit is finding experience on top, and finally Angel is able to get some farm on bottom. So the rotation from Mouse seems to have worked out very well for them. Cinderin getting dove, but Dendi will be saved off with a very nice Cold Snap and Sunstrike combo. But he is very low. If Dendi can go on one more time before that Cold Snap comes online, then Cinderin is dead meat.
Up at top, Crit gonna end up cleaned up. Here comes a TPN from Prophet. He's gonna try to get a kill on Vost and manages to do so. Kuro will be able to make it away, but
man, Link's been everywhere.
Yeah, Link, right now Link is not only holding Mouse in this game, he's actually got them the advantage. Like, without a doubt, his rotation to mid, the difference maker. Na'Vi would be running away with this game very similar to how they did in game one if it wasn't for his movement so far.
Most certainly, and looks like Crit will be back on top. He's just finding levels though, so this is not a roaming Sanking. He needs more levels, so that's one of the problems with Sanking, and it's kind of similar to Lion. You need like level 3, level 5 before you can actually start making the impact around the map. Kuro and Havos looking for blood.
And Puppy coming up from the south. Dark Troll Warlord is there, going to look to get a net off, does so on Rise, and there's the Grave Chillers to sprout the lock Puppy in. Sunstrike will connect. Puppy going to end up being cleaned up. Now, Kuro.
Wow, they went for the Courier.
Yeah.
They didn't get any damage on Rise during the net.
There's a Sonic Wave that's going to help clean up the Enigma on the backside of that fight. Now Link sprouts himself inside, trying to get away from Kuro and Avos. Heads up to the high ground. Crit's there to help out. He's got a Burrow Strike ready to go. Only caught one, but that's all he needs to catch as Link makes it away. And Crit might end up trading himself away for that. They go 1-for-1 in the ensuing exchange, and here comes Link once again. There's a leap. And Havos...
Sunstrike.
Nope. Wrong direction. So Cinderin threw it out there, unable to connect. And this has kind of been a bizarre early game, to be honest. The movement on both sides, to be honest, I think Mouse is moving better than Na'Vi is right now. Na'Vi's lineup is just not having quite the punch I think they expected to.
They're still keeping them relatively under leveled and under farmed too. Like Invoker's still level 5. The only problem is like Nature's Prophet is just getting a lot. Phase Boots, level 6, and Gloves of Haste. Funnick is doing very well on bottom with 40 CS. I think he needs to start helping out in these fights so that they don't give Mouse an unnecessary advantage. Rice has his Soul Ring already, so he's not doing too poorly. Not level 6 though.
And yeah, not quite level 6. Level 5 is when you really see most Enigmas be willing to get active. Timbersaw has picked up a haste rune, and he's got that bottled up if he wants to do it. They may take a run at Cinderin here. Dindy's right there with him, doesn't have his ulti available, and yep, here we go. Funnick looking to make something happen in mid. Gonna get off the Whirling Death. There's the Chakram, and they're gonna chase it out. Timber Chain is there. Is the reaction gonna be enough to make it an even trade? Dindy will end up dying to right clicks. Now Funnick actually misses with the Timber Chain. However, Puppy's right there, trying to lead the way out. There's the Dark Troll Warlord, gonna get the net off on Link, and the Chakram will slow them down. They end up breaking even there. Now Crit, though, coming in from the back of the fight. It's a two-man Burrow Strike. Puppy making a run for the high ground. Funnick using the Chakram to do damage. Now Crit has to go under cover of Sandstorm. Sentry goes down. He might chase this out. He's got Whirling Death active again. Here's Kuro, ready to throw out the Grave Chill. We'll have Soul Assumption ready to go in a moment. There's the Malefice, though, slowing Funnick down. And the Sunstrike will connect. Crit dies to the Chakram, but Funnick's going to end up traded for it. Kuro sitting on the low ground, just kind of hanging out. Sentry goes down. Here comes Angel looking to chase him down. Dindy back up, though, and Angel runs into a world of pain. Going to end up dropping the call down, ends up dying, though. Very bad rotation and decision from Angel. Saw Dindy and should have backed off Dindy. Eats the homing missile in the face, but again, just these exchanges just feel kind of weird to me. Make it 8-9. Na'Vi continues to trail Mouse.
Yeah, good play by Funnick there, cutting down those trees immediately during his sprout so that Puppy can escape and drop that Sentry Ward to help his team. But just a bloodbath from other team, it's not like either team's like lacking on execution, it's just like slight positioning errors, like Angel trying to be down in the river by himself during nighttime. It's just a little strange.
Dindy manages to avoid the Sunstrike and spins the Sonic Wave. He may go for this. Nope, blink in 5 seconds, not soon enough.
If he had Intreds, he could just blink and scream one more time, but it's just very risky, especially with how much Link has been moving around. And he has his ultimate up too, so very risky dive. I'm surprised he expended his ultimate.
If nothing else, forcing Cinderin back going to give him even more of a level advantage. And we've got major rotation now out of Mouse up the top. They've got 4 in that side of the jungle. Puppy's there as well. Taking a look at Puppy. He's just level 4 right now at 8 minutes in, so not in bad shape, but not in great shape either. His gold gain has not been all that he would like it to be. Only brown boots up, at least as of right now, so any kind of a mechanism going to be coming out very slow. Funnick happy to take a little bit of extra farm down in this bottom lane. And right now the question is, when is Rise going to come out and try to make something happen in a group? He's level 7, has Black Hole, has his Soul Ring up. Na'Vi just continuing to stabilize out. Taking an early look at the gold, we can see it is Na'Vi's advantage. About 2,500 in their favor.
I'm surprised that Rise also went for power shreds too. I think they just need to mech ASAP just because fights have been happening often, and they need that mech if they want to secure a mid-game advantage. Angel, not even phase boost yet. And this was like given a solo lane bottom versus Funnick. Granted, he was probably at like a 2-level disadvantage when he went down there, but still, that is a very, very underfarmed gyrocopter. He needs more items for sure.
And here we go.
Smoke comes out from Puppy and Dendi.
Yep, Dendi, Puppy, ready to rotate. Let's see where they want to head. Top, it looks like Kuro and Havos know they're under threat. They are going to go ahead and move up in that direction. Mirana has Moonlight Shadow if they need it.
8.
This could be bad if Angel, hang on, this could be bad for Na'Vi as they might run smack into Enigma. Enigma's got Black Hole ready, has the mana for it. The smoke will be popped. Dendi and Puppy going to be spotted and throws out the Malefice. Rise going to be blown up very quickly. Here comes Link back in. Puppy being right-clicked down. There's the Black Hole. However, canceled out of it by the Visage Familiars, and 2 for 1 the exchange so far. Kuro, though, makes it 2 for 2. He's going to be sprouted in. Crit taking a lot of damage from the Visage Familiars. Link, though, should be able to right... Nope, never mind. Soul Assumption way too strong. And Synderen coming up, but he's going to be way late to the party. And now eating a lot of damage. Chakram plus Whirling Death and a Temper Chain, enough to scare him away. And he's not going to have Invoke for 15 more seconds. Throws out the Sunstrike. That's not going to connect on the T-Ping away Visage. And Funnick continuing to pursue him out. And we can see the Familiar right on his tail. Chakram will slow him down one more time, and that's another kill going the way of Na'Vi. And, you know, again, the execution on both sides is just kind of on and off. I mean, the position, it's a weird matchup to begin with the compositions, but both teams are giving as good as they're getting, and it just feels like two punch-drunk boxers swinging from the shoelaces every time they meet.
Visage, good hero. That burst from Soul Assumption is just absolutely
massive.
Ridiculous. He has so much gold too. He had Chainmail and Brown Boots before that fight. Now he has Medallion and Shreds after escaping with 4-2 and 4 in that fight. Crit, we haven't really seen much out of this game. He has a couple of stunts here and there, but 0-4 and 4, they really need more mileage out of the Sand King. I think he needs he needs Magic Stick. First of all, they've had a fair amount of detection for him, so he can't rely on Sandstorm as often as other Sand Kings, but I think maxing Sandstorm is generally the best build. That cooldown reduction is just incredibly good.
A Vost up, look like
Synderen mid just gets blown up by by Dendi and Funnick.
Looked like there was going to be a gank attempt at top. That's what I was watching instead of watching mid there. And I think Havos screwed the pooch. I think he was the Visage Familiars going to come in, try to stun, and he was going to try to hit a Sacred Arrow afterwards. But aggression not over. Kuro going to be caught up with the Burrow Strike. Rise is right there. In the meantime, Funnick manages to make it a double kill. Sacred Arrow off the mark. They will be able to track down Kuro, though. No, never mind. He's going to make it away. The Visage Familiars and their stun is so massive. And Soul Assumption cleans up Crit. Angel in very bad shape. We see the pings coming out. Off go the Familiars, and Angel, I don't think, is going to be able to make it away. In the meantime, Rise being targeted out. There's a Sunstrike that will be off the mark. Kuro manages to track him down. Rise back to the north of his tower with Dendi right behind him. Sonic Wave off cooldown, but not enough mana. Not going to need it. Enigma right-click down, and just like that, it's a 4-for-1 exchange as Havos basically traded himself for a big team fight win. Puppy in bottom in the meantime, soaking up some much-needed experience and levels. Didn't even have to use Hand of God.
Yeah, Mouse is just slightly coming apart here. Enigma is not that useful if you can't apply a lot of pressure. He's not that good in a defensive position if you can't hit a big hole. His one over here was decent, but he was way too low. I mean, he did have his power chest for the HP, so if he didn't have it, he wouldn't have survived. But Potom just right-clicked him once, and he died during the black hole. And with that on cooldown for such a long time, it's still on cooldown for another 20 seconds. Na'Vi can just bring the fight to them whenever they want to. And Enigma, without the Eidolon setup, without just being able to right-click on people, Link narrowly dodging an arrow.
And caught with the net. Here comes Funnick from the low ground. They're going to be able to bring him down quickly. Crit's going to show his face, but Sonic Wave there to help clean him up with the help of a little bit of right click. TP in from Synderen. He may have come into some trouble. The haste rune on Funnick pretty big. Dendy pursues him out. Scream after the blink. Sunstrike will be split up between the two of them, so even the damage from that, not that big of a deal. Havos connects on the Sacred Arrow to lock him down, and Rise isn't out of trouble yet. He's got Black Hole. Dendy goes looking for him. Havos right behind him as well. He's going to have to pull all the way back. So in the meantime, Kuro has been soaking up some much-needed golden experience. Angel at level 9 has nothing but Phase Bassi. This is not a game where that Gyrocopter is going to have much influence at all.
Navi really favors like super heavy burst lineups. They can just burst someone down in a matter of like less than 2 seconds. I mean, it's not even like half a TP's time, let alone just a full TP's time. And that it really suits their place out. They're just like in and out, and the wait for the cooldowns to come back up, and then in and out again.
Kuro will be able to make it away. Lack of stuns costing them a kill for sure there, but that's kind of, that's just smart play by Kuro, knowing that, okay, Gyrocopter has one of the most notoriously unreliable and ineffective stuns in the game in that homing missile. And if Nature's Prophet shows up, he can sprout me. That's fine. They don't have the burst to bring me down. I'm too far ahead in levels and too tanky at this point. So he could just TP out, and in the meantime was farming one-on-one with pretty much no fear.
And Rise, we still really haven't seen too much of him. He needs to get that mech ASAP. He has his recipe right now, just about 800 gold away. Looks like they're going to dive on bottom.
There's crit. Sacred Arrow connects. Scream of Pain. Starfall doesn't matter. Na'Vi just blowing crit up. As you said, that burst showing itself quite well. Funnick now monopolizing this top lane. He's going to chase down Angel. Throws out the Chakram. There's a Timber Chain to get right on top of him. Visage Familiars are there. Link's going to try to TP in. Lands to the north and looking for a Sprout. Thought better of it. Visage Familiars helping to chase him away. In the meantime, the rest of Na'Vi managing to take the bottom tier 1, and they're pushing through to tier 2. Here we go. Synderen engages. Kuro caught with a cold snap, eating a lot of damage. They will finally be able to track down the Visage, but look at bottom. Puppy there along with Havost, able to bring down not just the tier 1, but likely this tier 2 as well.
Yeah, and Mouse isn't going to be able to get a tower in exchange, or not, at least not with Dendy there. His Scream of Pain or Sonic Wave up in just a few seconds time, and yeah, Puppy and Novos just taking down free towers, and they're keeping them busy so much with Visage.
Such good play coming out from Kuro. The Familiar's there to stun him out before he could QQ walk and invoke a way to safety. Here comes Angel around. Rise going to eat the Sonic Wave right in the face. Black Hole will catch Dendy out. A little bit too aggressive that time. And ends up paying the price. That tier 2 in bottom certainly did fall, though. So all of this action at top really just freeing the map up for Havost and Puppy to split push. And Puppy now with his mechanism done, plus 900. Sacred Arrow shot just a bit wide. And they're continuing to play right up under the tier 3s, just playing so confidently.
Yep, and Havost going to get sent back. Puppy, I mean, his death is not that big of a deal right now. They're killing. Denny was a pretty important kill. Wow, Shadowblade already on the Nature's Prophet too. Na'Vi can just like sweep this top T1 though, and then continue to take over the jungle. Yeah, Chen just got picked off. He didn't have a TP scroll on him. He should have.
7,500 gold, the advantage for Na'Vi. Another dominant early game. We are at 16 minutes, and game 1 didn't last much longer than this in general. Na'Vi certainly ahead, but not as far ahead. And Mouse, I mean, the Gyrocopter is just hurting so badly. Like, you can't overstate it. He's sitting at 4,800 total net worth. He is less farmed than the Nature's Prophet. Less farmed. He's right on par with the Enigma. So, I mean, he's not in horrendous shape. The levels have hurt him quite a bit, too. He's just now level 11.
Yeah, I mean, Visage is like 400, within 400 net worth range of the Gyrocopter. That's a really big problem. And he needs BKB as soon as possible. He does have his hammer, though, so it should come out in about 1,400 gold. But Na'Vi just sweeping all these towers. Like, Mouse hasn't even been able to force a glyph from Na'Vi. All their towers still relatively high HP, 75% or more. Looks like they're going to go for a Roshan attempt when Na'Vi's all the way up on top lane.
Let's see if Na'Vi can sniff it out. Puppy is hanging around mid. He's under cover of smoke for the moment, just to the south.
What the illusions are supposed to be used for.
Roche down to about half health. Looks like they might be able to take this. In fact, I'm pretty sure they will. Na'Vi has made no overtures as if they have any interest in checking that pit. Trying to bait out more actions, what they're doing. Just kind of bouncing around. Puppy now finally going to make his way down there. But Roche will end up feeding the Aegis to who's going to pick it up. That's going to be Rise that actually takes that out. And trying to TP away, they manage to catch Link out. So they don't get the Aegis Bearer, but they do get a pretty high-profile kill on that Nature's Prophet, and they'll probably get a tier 2 because of it.
Did he not have a Shadow Blade up? I don't exactly know what went on there. It looked like he was just TPing away, but...
Synderen actually fairly tanky here. Throws down the ice wall. Havost trying to chase him out. Visage with so much burst, though, with Soul Assumption. They're going to mech through this. There's a point-blank Sacred Arrow on the Rise. Rise caught out with Chakram and loses the Aegis almost as soon as he got it. Now they're going to pursue out Angel all the way back behind the Tier 3. The Tier 2 still standing, by the way, so they're not even trying to crack this. They're just diving for kills, essentially. And under Moonlight Shadow, they will go ahead and pull back.
Bloodstone already up on Funnick. Mirana getting some sort of... This is the type of Mirana play that we should be seeing, right? She's getting a lot of farm, and she's keeping the opponents under farm. Like, Gyrocopter has, like, nothing.
Right.
And Potom can outcarry a Gyrocopter if he has, like, half her net worth. And Havost is playing a very good one. And I think Na'Vi utilizes Mirana appropriately. Unless he dies to this. Oh, goodness.
Kuro manages to make it away. Looked like he was going to be in trouble there, but... Kuro just living on the edge, man. That's like the third time he's done that this game.
Enigma is still looking for that huge black hole, that really game-changing one. Chen is farming top. They have a reserve reward there. He's in a lot of trouble, but quick awareness by him. Unfortunately, Link comes from behind. Should be a very dead Chen.
Yep, converging on him. A lot of personnel it's taken to bring down that Shen. Let's see if they're going to respond. Dindy just completed his BKB, so he's going to be able to play even more aggressive than before. Speaking of aggressive, Funnick picking up a Blink Dagger. Blink on a Timbersaw. That's not something I've seen too often at all. Certainly does give him a kind of a puckish feel. He's got a number of ways to get in and out of fights now.
Yeah, it's not a bad pickup by any means. You definitely... need like mana items first. Bloodstone, perfect item for him, and it just makes his burst incredibly strong. And a lot of the times you can get a lot of your damage off before BKB.
And here's Crit disjoining Angel. In the meantime, we see the Enigma spotted out. He's going to try to TP away. Dindy pops his BKB, throws out the dust. Havost and Funnick converging onto Crit. They don't have a stun. They do manage to clean him up with nothing but burst damage, though. So Na'Vi, I mean, when you look at Na'Vi, they really only have they don't have a whole lot of direct lockdown. They've got Sacred Arrow, and that's pretty much it.
When you have damage.
Exactly. And that's kind of the way they're playing at the moment.
They've been able to kill so many people in less than 3 seconds time. People try to TP away. They're like, nope. So much burst from Timbersaw, from Queen of Pain, from Mirana too, as well as Visage. Just they can do like 1,500 damage in just a matter of seconds, and they're really paying the price for that. Enigma, yeah, TPing away. He needs BKB too, but Dendy already completed his. Looks like he's going to be the one that is going to be dominating these end heroes that we talked about before the game started. Once you get BKB up, what are they going to do? All they really have is a super underfarmed Gyrocopter who tickles them during BKB and a Black King bar, sorry, the Enigma's Black Hole, which goes through Black King bar.
Right. No, we knew that was a problem coming in, like you said. We talked about it during the draft, is you go with such heavy magic damage. I'll tell you, we haven't seen a single Epicenter out of Crit.
Oh, yep.
So, I mean, at this point, they're not even really getting the most out of the lineup that they've drafted. And with one BKB out already on Quap, it wouldn't surprise me, even though Mirana isn't a natural. Oh, hold on, Cinderin caught out in mid. And Moonlight Shadow, pretty legit. They're going to try to chase this out. Crit's going to be dusted out immediately. Funnick's right there on top of him. Can they pursue him? There's a Timber Chain, Whirling Death right in the trees. And a couple of right clicks plus one more Timber Chain should be enough. Blinking right past him. Funnick. And they managed to get the Courier, too. Poor Mousesports. They just can't get a break, can they?
They know Rise's corner right here.
Underneath the tier 2.
He needs you.
Post just saying, all right, that's fine. I'll try to right click. Here comes Kuro. There's the Grave Chill. Familiars are right there. Soul Assumption actually thrown out a little bit early. And he actually, Avo shoots a Sacred Arrow smack into the back of a creep. Doesn't matter. And at this point, it almost feels like Mouse has given up. No help whatsoever coming for that Enigma.
Their roaming and aggression from Crit is just severely outmatched by the roaming and aggression from Na'Vi. Yep. Like Enigma's, when you play passively like Rise, you can't really do that versus the roaming combination from Kuro and Puppy on the Visage and the Chen respectively. You have to match aggression with even more aggression, or you need both heroes to try and form up and mitigate the early kill lead.
Angel forced to show off the BKB for the first time. There's a call down on the Funnick. He got cold snapped as well. There's Hand of God to keep him up. In the meantime, Na'Vi doing good damage from the north side of the fight. Link's going to be picked off with one last Soul Assumption. So they end up bringing down the Prophet, the most farmed hero they have on their entire team. Crit now spotted out, chased down, and let's see if they'll be able to get him. There's a buyback coming out from the Prophet, knowing this could be a do-or-die moment. Havost actually playing very aggressive. Manta's away, but not enough to get him back to safety. And Funnick throwing out the Chakram now. Black Hole still available if he's able to find a setup for it. He did opt to skip Blink Dagger, going straight for a BKB, and we're going to have a Sonic Wave. How deep did he dive there? Dindy dove past the Ancient and going to be BKB'd, or Black Hold, I should say, through BKB. So playing pretty brave and kind of paying the price as we see a little chatter here from the players knowing that's kind of funny. Dindy, that's not your base. It's not your base, Dindy.
Wow, this already has Scepter too. They're just getting so many more items, and they honestly don't need BKBs, which is kind of sad when you look at Mouse's lineup. Crit just dying over and over and over again too.
He's food. The Navi's basically just turned him into food. Here comes Rise. No Black Hole available. TP's going to be in. Funnick throws the Chakram down, ready to. That's not going to cancel. Angel Puppy actually got sprouted in. There's Moonlight Shadow. Here comes Timbersaw, though, banging away on Link. Kuro will throw out. Soul Assumption get one last kill. Here comes Angel and the rest of Mouse, though.
They lost a gem.
Finally, chasing them out. Here comes Savos, though, ready to rejoin the fight. Dindy will be back up in 10 seconds. And another BKB goes off. Angel spending 2 BKBs in very short order. That time might have fat figured it. Really not a big reason to need it. Sacred Arrow will be off the mark, and Havos down to half health. Synderen going to re-engage. Leap might be enough. Rise caught out by Chakram. And nice Visage stun. Using the familiar. Angel now the target for Funnick. There's a Timber Chain straight through him. TP coming in. Funnick in no man's land. Back behind the tower. Crit. Might get off an Epicenter. And finally, the poor guy who's been nothing but food, able to get some damage done and clean up.
What is that, Funnick?
Looking for the Bloodstone. Here's a Sacred Arrow. Trying the lead. Angel, not going to work that time. Either way, 33-23. We got a lot of kills in this series, man. That's 56 kills just in a 24-minute game.
Yeah, this is bloodbath. I love bloodbaths though. Dendy, yeah, slight overextension there, and his team was like trying to fight without him there. They just need to put together S5 or get the next Roshan, and they should be able to close out this game. The gold lead is fairly significant, sitting at 12,000 right now. Experience lead also very similar to that 12,000 gold mark. Sand King very close to Blink Dagger. Is it gonna make that big of a difference? No, I don't think so. Like, Timbersaw has 2,000 HP. Visage has 1,756 HP with level 4 Gravekeeper's Cloak. Dendy has BKB. Potom is Potom. Hopefully he won't get caught by it. He has Mantis Style. So, yeah, it's not the most farm Potom, but still very effective. I've been involved in 18 kills already in 25 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, it's been kind of a nutso game in terms of kills. We're actually going to see the Timbersaw pick up Rod of Atos, which is a fascinating grab.
That item is awesome.
Yes.
Especially when they don't have BKBs. Like if Gyrocopter comes up and you just like Atos him and just like feign going on him, he just pops his BKB, and that's such good value for the item. 12-second cooldown is a pretty significant buff from 16. And Rise, looks like he was trying to go on Funnick there, but it gives him a lot of HP and mana too. It's not like he still doesn't have mana issues. He's already burned through half of his mana.
And Funnick continuing to dance around here, playing pretty brave up in the dire side jungle. Havost, in the meantime, continuing to just add items. He will be grabbing a Maelstrom as his next item. And Navi in pretty good position. Roshan will be respawning after a pretty long respawn time.
Synderen. They're going to spot out Funnick.
Up. Look, the Timber Chain will head to the high ground. Now he's trapped, going to Whirling Death his way out and blink his way out. Synderen 4 staffs after him. And we could have the makings of an engagement if they decide to pursue this all the way out to mid. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Dindy, under cover of an Invis.
They have a gem on Invoker, though.
Let's see if they're going to be able to spot him. Angel being tracked by Dindy. There's a Shadow Strike. Oh, wow. Good BKB. Very nice timing on that. And able to mitigate any damage and forcing Dindy to waste a Sonic Wave.
Yeah, they just need to send him back with Chen, get him to TP back in middle, and then they'll be good in fighting shape. I think that's okay. Trading his Sonic Wave for BKB, it makes it that much easier to burst down a Gyro. And Gyrocopter has to play like super safely, as if he hasn't been playing safely already before.
Dindy going to respond to top, try to shut down this push. That's a lot of Treants and a lot of Eidolons. Pretty potent stuff there. But Na'Vi beginning to stretch their legs a bit and show why this lead matters. They're beginning to take over Mouse's territory, the jungle not feeling very safe. You can see Mouse, I mean, they're positioning all across the map. Very careful, even in their own jungle.
Yeah, they are super scared.
Here we go. I thought they might try to move in and make something happen.
Navi's just waiting around for Roshan right now.
Yep.
Trying to keep their lanes pushed out. Don't give any easy towers to Mouse. Just keep them under farm. And Nature's Prophet had a very good start. Very fast Shadow Blade Midas as well as phase boost. But after that, his item progression has been very, very slow. They had the gem on him. They constantly kept killing him. Link is pretty much has a sheep stick right now. He goes to the shop. And
they managed to pick off Crit once again. Poor guy. Remains nothing but puppy chow. And Link going to be picking up his Scythe of Ice. Very important item for him. Link's really been the saving grace in a lot of ways. Up Roshan, they just saw it. Visage, by the way, did pick up a Scepter. We didn't even make mention of that. And, anyway, Link has been really the saving grace. Without him, this game would have gotten way out of hand. Mouse is still in it. They're just going to need a pretty big turnaround. They need to get a win. Obviously, it's not going to happen in the Roche pit, but if they can manage to defend the tier 3s, they might be able to extend this game a little bit longer. Havost, I mean, he's got a Maelstrom, he's got a Manta. Nature's Prophet, though, is becoming a pretty big factor.
Yeah, but is it going to be big enough to make up for Gyrocopter's lack of farm? I don't think so.
Dindy picking up a Scythe of Ice of his own. Oh, Angel, there's the Atos followed by the Scythe. Can they blow him up? They can. No BKB there fast enough. Mechanism not even enough to keep him up. Off goes the dust, and just look at the illusion which they have at their disposal. Syndran's there, and here we go. Dindy moves in. He's got a Sonic Wave. Gonna catch two. Hand of God might be enough to keep him alive, and it is. Chakram there to follow it up. Rise dies the Whirling Death, and Syndran can do nothing but run for the well, and Link gonna be stunned out by the Visage Familiar. Soul Assumption on the Crypt plus Chakram. That's enough. 3 down. Gyrocopter having zero influence in this game. Very rarely has he even been involved in any meaningful way in these fights. And that time, that surprise Scythe of Ice on Queen of Pain paying for itself right off the bat. Crit there, has Epicenter, not going to have a chance to use it as they're chased all the way back to the well once again. In the meantime, the tier 3 drops. They're going to go ahead and start focusing down the melee racks. Centaur going to be sprouted in. Here comes Dindy and tried to do something to move in after being sent home by Chen. There's a nice Burrow Strike to lock down a Vost and Funnick. Funnick is just so huge right now, so tanky. They're going to be able to kill Crit even in, or a Link in his own well. Angel pops the BKB. When you have to pop a BKB in your own well, you know the game's probably getting away from you.
Yep. Yes, it is. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th on net worth as a Gyrocopter. He is outfarmed by the Chen at this point in the game. That is just a sad Gyrocopter. They kept the pressure up on him all game. Enigma is not the best babysitter. He's a very good offensive hero, but again, in a defensive position, he just doesn't really shine. Crit is going to die again. 13 deaths to his name. Vo's trying to hit an arrow. He hits Angel.
Angel caught out. They're going to try to mech through it. That might be enough to maybe get him home. Rise probably not so lucky. Nope, Soul Assumption caught him at the edge. There's a black hole spin,
that
but
GG.
Yep, basically your swan song black hole. 5 down, racks down, soon to be megas if they don't call it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Marana has a basher for crying out loud.
Kuro has a Maelstrom. You know, your textbook 31-minute Maelstrom on your Visage.
The fountain camping begin. They aren't going to GG out. They will just get humiliated.
There it is.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting fountain camp, it's probably time to call GG.
Well, like I said, not just fountain camped. Whenever you're having to use your BKB, when your racks are still standing, racks in tier 3 are still standing, and you're having to use your BKB as you stand in your own well. Usually, the game is a little out of hand by that point, and as we can see, Funnick's 645 GPM on Timbersaw, second highest mark in the hero's last 200 competitive games. Funnick making it look easy, leading the way for Na'Vi. That was a 68-kill game by the time all was said and done. So between the two, we had more than 100 kills in games 1 and 2, Merlini, and the games put together took less than 50 minutes.
That was bloody game. Na'Vi just really showing how well their aggression can pay off. It was a little bit sloppy at times, but it ended up working out for them in the end.
Yeah, thinking about that, that's a kill. That's 2 kills a minute, essentially. And that, if you maintain that over a 20-minute game, that's impressive. We maintain that over an entire 2-game series. So Na'Vi and Mouse, if nothing else, putting on a show.
Duking it out.
Oh, yeah, bloodbath. I like that term. That's what we're going to call it, an absolute bloodbath. And this is one where Na'Vi walks away with their first win here in the D2L Western Division, 44-24. The final kill score took him 31 minutes and 13 seconds to close the door. Mousesports falls to 0-1. Na'Vi and Alliance, the winners on the day. Virtus Pro losing to Alliance earlier on, and want to go ahead before we flip it to my big ugly mug. Say that thanks to HyperX Dota. He is a great guy who's been working with us. Just volunteered one a couple weeks ago, and his stats are phenomenal. I think he's doing a great job. Make sure you support him, guys, and make sure you tweet at him. Tell him at HyperX Dota on Twitter that you really appreciate what he's doing. He really does a phenomenal job. And, of course, you, Merlini, thanks to you, my friend, as always. And, go ahead and drop your Twitter address as we flip. Yeah, there you go. At EC, at Merlini Dota, at HyperX. And tell the fine folks where they can find more about you, brother.
You can find me Facebook, Twitter as Post by HyperX, thanks to you, and YouTube, all the same, /Merlini Dota, my personal stream, Twitch, same handle.
There you go. I'm EC, your host here on the floor of our downtown studio. I just want to, I've been having this hanging out. I just tried this for the first time. You should see, we've seriously got like a ton of Monster Energy that was shipped in like last week. The white monsters, the Zero Ultra, this might be the best, like anything I've ever had ever. Like, it is so good. So if you see these in the store, seriously, go try it. My legs have been bouncing under the table from the 100 kills, as well as the copious amounts of caffeine and vitamin B and whatever else they tell me they give me my daily allowance of. Let's see, whatever pantothenic acid happens to me, I get 100% of that too. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for being a part of the broadcast. Our Western Division kicks off with a bang. Alliance and Na'Vi both taking down 2-0 wins over Virtus Pro and Mousesports respectively. And I'll tell you what, Connie, if we can go ahead and flash our schedule back up, before we sign off. We're going to have our Eastern Division coming up shortly. But again, just to drive the point home, our Western schedule is absolutely bonkers. 7 days a week, at least 2 best-of-3s a day from now until the end of the Western Division, which, again, will be 2 weeks from now. And many of those days, even though they don't show up on that plate there, Thursday, for example, that's going to be a triple header. So make sure you hit follow if you haven't already here on twitch.tv/D2L. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter for consistent daily updates. Of course, you can follow myself and Merlini. We'll be tweeting about the matches and everything else. But can't wait to just get into the meat and potatoes of this West schedule and the Eastern schedule still ahead of us. Our broadcast for that will begin, let's see, what time? Yeah, it's just 2 o'clock now. So 3 hours from now, we'll be getting 3 best-of-3s underway for our Eastern Division as well, because, you know, that's why we have Monster Energy, Merlini. We just don't sleep, do we? No, looks like he's gone. He's peaced out.
I have Monster Energy too, but I will need some with our rigorous schedule on Sundays and Mondays.
Exactly. So, all right, guys, once again, thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast. This has been a D2L production in conjunction with, of course, our lead sponsor, Kingston HyperX. Much love to them. Make sure you support them. They're the guys who are making all of this possible. And, of course, Razer. I'm not going to forget them. I'm going to continue to hold this up. I love the way this big mouse pad looks, and I always seem to forget them. But Astro and Monster Energy. I mean, this is an Astro headset. This is your Monster Energy can. This is delicious, by the way. Seriously, give it a shot. Again, 3 hours from now, back with Eastern Division play. In the meantime, enjoy your evening, enjoy some Dota, and I'm not sure, is Dream League still on, Connie? Yep, go watch Dream League. Those guys are doing an amazing job from what I saw of it in between. Hope to see you back in 3 hours, though. Have a good, I guess, morning, evening, or afternoon. Whatever. Merlini and I back shortly. See ya.